Look, all I'm saying is every day these guys shake my screen by making these stupid cats and hitting them with a fireball. Okay? I think they deserve it. What are you gonna do about it? Don't you know? I'm the main character. I'm the main character. I'm original character. Do not steal. Do not steal. That's right. You don't want none of this. Shovel, come over here. Come over here. Come over here. Gotta get that sneak attack in. Okay, don't get it. Okay, Shovel, get out of there. Okay, there we go. Where are you going, buddy? You don't walk away from the main character. Especially not his side. Alright, let's get him. Alright, you're definitely not getting that main character energy going. Okay. Alright. Thanks for defining who you are. Alright. Take that. Take that, mister. Perfect. No! He's got that main character energy. I'll just go after her. Oh, no, you don't. What's the password? Yeah, come over here. I like that. That's a lot better. Alright. Time to drop the little surprise on him. Well, bam! Guess what? You're dead! Oh, yeah. And you're done. Ooh, got him. Alright. Well, let's go ahead and hit this guy. We take his head off. Yeah. Whoa, oh, no. Or not. Punch the kick. Okay. Gotta go. Quickly. Use that team synergy we talked about. That's right. I could abuse the darkness. Here we go. Come on. Where are you going? What's that move? This is an advanced maneuver. Alright. Listen, just in case. Right? Just in case. Position. Position, position. Also, we gotta start taking the good. Ba 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 ba! And you know what? We have so many bonus actions. Let's just pop one of these and go. Oh, da da da! Ba ba! Alright. Let's get them. Oh yeah, sneak attack. Okay, back it up. Back it up. Shovel, get out of there. Actually, you know what, Shovel? Get a little reward. No! Okay, whatever. You did your job. Now. Get a kill here. Or not. Get another kill here. There we go. Much better. Ooh, spooky. Come on now. I know. You're supposed to have like an advantage or something. Oh well. Guess it's up to me to zap that guy. Ba 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 ba. Nope. Oh yeah, she's close enough anyway. We'll just get it. Here we go. Hoo-yah. Ooh yeah. Oh. Now, quick, pose for the camera. Boom. As always. Back to back. Ride or die, baby. All right, let's get the heck out of here. Hold on. Team up. Come on. Come here, Sean. You're coming for the ride too, right? Okay, good. All right. Come on. Come on. We got a show to show. Come on. All right. All right. Come on. Perfect. All right. All right. This is going to be a little sloppy one. Sorry. Let's get the busted notes out. There we go. Sorry about that. So, today we're going to do a little more freestyle. I apologize in advance. You're going to hear me ramble, friends, so if you like the ASMR content, yeah, you're welcome. Alright, so today we're talking a little bit how I like builds. I'm still kind of working on some other stuff. I got to keep this one a little simpler. But when I was thinking about this topic, man, I could go on forever. So what I'm going to do first, for the people who sticking around and want to see the character, yeah, here's the build. This is a 444. There's a lot of transmog mods, visual mods, right? Apologize, but essentially this is going to be 2 charisma helmet, cloak of displacement, so advantage on you know, when you have good AC, you can do advantage on the first hit, so you don't get hit. Potent robes, this just adds charisma to your beams and stuff. Gloves of dexterity, that's how we got some ridiculous stat line here. And then we have the Koshigo boots, so we can add this to our punches. We have ridiculous health from this thing, right? And we have pretty good concentration on that darkness earlier. Mystic Scoundrel was pretty funny because I can mock you with my bonus actions. It's not really necessary. Extra AC here. This is how we get a good amount of initiative, +7, 3 right there. And we have +1 on this little cold snap. And we have a good old Rhapsody adding a lot of damage and accuracy and so on and so forth. Oh my god, a 4-4-4 split. I don't know if you really want me to break all this down, but the monk is for punching. The lock is for Eldritch Blasting, and the thief is for more bonus actions, right? There's a lot I could talk about this build. It's kind of cool. I'm kind of happy with it. But I'm here to talk about how we make builds like this, or at least how I go about it. So the 4 feats, if you need to know, we had Tavern Brawler, good old Tavern Brawler. Mix it with the Cloud Giant Strength. You got 27 Strength. That's 8. It doubles it up. Tavern Brawler. But then we have 2 extra wisdom and 2 extra charisma, and we can make this guy even more optimal, more strong. Listen, the reason I made this character, right? He's a good face and main character. He's good all game, and I know this because I'm playing right now on Tactician with a friend, and I went about this build because we have a backup main character if I need to talk our way out of the situation. I love co-op. I wanted to show my buddy a bunch of cool concepts, so I rolled them all into one, right? And since I've been making some videos about a lot of these building blocks, hopefully it's rubbing off, and you can do some cool stuff too. You don't have to build my characters. I don't even really like gushing about my characters. I want to just help people. So hopefully this helps you, right? We'll get into this build a little bit more, but let's talk about how I go about making builds, right? I'll keep this guy up here, and if it's relevant, it's relevant. But we're going to get into ramble mode, so good luck, guys. Thanks for watching at this point. Alright, so in general, when I go about making a build, right, I'm mostly focusing on one dude for the run. Okay, it could be different. I could have a concept in mind like, hey, let's just abuse darkness, or let's make everybody sneaky and do sneak attacks and assassinate and run away like ninjas, right? But usually I've been running honor mode with like, hey, let's try this build out, right? And it's like very intensive. 4 monk, 4 warlock, 4 rogue is not some build out there. This is something I came up with because the concept here was 2 things. Can I get wisdom and charisma to meld together? This is not a dex, strength, or anything character. This is actually 17 wiz and 16 charisma. You can usually build 2 stats and hone in on it, right? More to say on that in a moment, but this being said, it's coming from this idea of this 2 charisma or wisdom and charisma, but they go in hand with this idea that I want to put the punching together, right, with the Eldritch Blasting. Wouldn't that be cool? I don't even need weapons. I can just punch people, right? And I can use Eldritch Blast, and then it just keeps rolling from there. Because then you realize, whoa, did you realize Eldritch Blast uses your action, right? And Flurry of Blows uses your bonus actions, right? And then I'm like, well, I know how to build a pretty good monk at level 4 and beyond, and I know how to put Eldritch Blasts in anything with 2 levels of Warlock. That's kind of how it starts, and I'm only going to do that for one guy, because by the time I flesh out 3 more characters, it's a little exhausting and I'm not even playing the game anymore, right? But I do put some time and effort into thinking it, and this is the general thought process, right? Then we'll use Jaisa here as an example. I'm going to make 2 more characters that I know for sure I have a build in mind or another idea in mind. It's going to be way less intensive. For her, it's oh, I'm trying out mods, let's say, right? I want to try out the Kensei monk. It's a monk that deals with weapons. It specializes in weapons. Okay, and for the most part, other than this sword, this is all vanilla gear, just dressed up in mods, right? So I try to blend that with the other guy, but really we'll get to rolls or something, but really I'm looking to see if I can take some of the ideas I've been having, hey, I don't want to just run a bunch of fighters, although I've done that. Let me try something else. Since the main dude over here is punching and shooting lasers, maybe I'll go for a samurai, right? So I try the Kensei. And does that like play into the main guy? Am I going to be taking any of the same gear, the same weapons, the same chest pieces and stuff? If not, then I'm going to fit 2 more fleshed out ideas into the run, right? And that really just leaves a 4th guy with some scraps, right? So if you're making 4 characters by the time you get to this last one, I don't know, man. Just make it a cleric and call it a day, right? Something that's going to help the team more than I'm trying to make a specific character. Or if I got a funny idea and I think the other 3 can handle the rest of the game, I'll have a 4th guy kind of buffering it, right? So that's pretty much a good breakdown of like how I go about 1, 2, 3, 4. But I want to make a mention, I don't try to make a team composition, okay? I'm not trying to make like, oh, I gotta have the healer and the DPS and this. It's not really how it works, at least as far as I know, okay? Honor mode runs, modded runs, custom runs, even tactician role. Like I said, this guy I made was for co-op run, and I want to do more co-op runs. I wish I had more buddies to do it, but you know, whether it's co-op or with like another single player or an honor mode or whatever, if you need a good team, right, I'm building it based on having some fun but also competently getting through it. But it's not based on like, I'm gonna tank or I'm gonna heal. You know, you do you, but that's not really what I'm looking for. So I don't force a composition. I so much as try to get a good idea, flesh it out, and then whatever sticks, right? That's it in a nutshell right there. So what about in terms of roles? If it's not DPS and tanks, then what the hell is this guy, right? Well, you know what's fun? I'll kind of type him out for you. This guy actually is what's called role compression, and I don't want to get all heady with this stuff, but it just means like role compression in video games is, oh, you do this, this, and this pretty well, and it saves me a team slot because you're good. It's like you got the quarterback, the line, you know, like the lineman and the receiver all in one. You know, I don't need a team. I'm so good at everything. So you can devote the other roles on the team to some other like vital role or like specific thing to do well, right? So a role like the main guy or a face, like people call it a face character, right? The face character is someone who can like talk their way out of anything, so you don't get in trouble, especially in honor mode where you can't take it back. And it's usually the main guy because the main guy has to talk to everybody whether he wants to or not. The game kind of just drags you into those cutscenes. What about Pack Mule, right? What do you mean a pack mule? Trust me on this one, dude. Having 27 strength, okay? Having a boatload of inventory. Look at this crap. It's because I'm playing the game more than I'm doing management of my inventory, right? It's great that this button exists so I can quickly sort it and kind of know where everything is. And there's a search button, great. But it comes with having like a pack mule, right? And it's usually the main guy, role compression, because, well, he's the one picking everything up, man. Okay, what about like a thief? Okay, I talked about this tons of times. So let's say he was actually a thief, or I went over here, I said, well, you're good at dexterity. You're using like a dexterity set. You might as well be a good sleight of hand character, right? Because you're going to have all that invested anyway. So role compression, but also roles. You're a DPS using dexterity. Right? That's actually good for sleight of hand. So these are the things I'm considering so that I know I'm not just fitting one role and being good at one thing at least, but I can cover a lot of my bases that I know when I'm rolling through the game, I'm going to need stuff like that. In fact, Thief might be one of those things I take out just to make the game more fun or hard, right? Challenging. But, that being said, there's stuff like utility. Well, utility is Thief, but sometimes it's a little bit more like Longstrider, for instance. If I looked at this character right here, she can cast Longstrider. Maybe I have Shadowheart as a cleric or a bard, and she can give me like Featherfall whenever I need it, rather than just, oh yeah, I'll go buy that. It's like, no, it's really good if you just have it so I don't have to go search it down. Or it's great to have like, what is this? 60 feet of movement? Fantastic. It's not always about, you know, how hard my stick hits, but rather I might need the ability to jump someplace or go find a chest or sneak into a town. So utility, right? There's also roles like control. Control is like control spells. I think earlier you saw Jace actually counterspell, maybe not, but control spells can come down to like hold person. There's a guy dedicated and built to do that really well. He's not gonna try and damage, he's just going to bop, like set it up so everyone gets bopped, right? There could be someone who's can cast darkness and utterly break the game. Trust me, we'll get there. We'll cover that topic. Okay, control, utility, stuff like this is what I'm looking for, and it's even better if I can pack them into one guy. For instance, the main character, right? I also like breaking game mechanics, so a lot of times in these runs, I'm trying to see just the limits of what I can do, what the game can handle, and I think that's kind of what the devs have set up for, you know, those sweaty gamers. Oh boy, here he goes, breaking the game again, right? I have a lot of fun in it, but it also allows me to change up playthroughs, play styles, come out of my comfort zone. Maybe I do a run where everybody can benefit from darkness. Like, if you saw earlier, right? I can shoot out of this darkness. I now don't need to build for advantage because 99% right there. I say, well, that's great. Later on in the run, I pick up the Eversight ring with that in mind, and now everyone can benefit attacking from the dark. It's a really cheap strategy, by the way. But, you know, it wasn't that I built the team necessarily for that. And honestly, I might get tired of bringing the same strategies because there's so many ways to play this game. I need to change it up and be like, dude, this is broken, or we need to stop stealing everything and actually see what it's like to have to buy everything. It's tough, right? It changes your strategy, it tests your knowledge, and I have fun doing that. Progression is also a lot of the fun, and I feel like this is my gripe, and I'm not here to talk gripes, bro. What I'm here to do is just say, if it's your thing to just kind of sit here, I do it too. I like theory craft builds and go, yeah, if I add this may not even be perfect, right? But I do know this, I play the video game, I have fun with it, right? And you know, seeing a character be good in the early stages of the game is just as important as reaching the end when I'm like, yeah, build complete. I'm a demigod with 27, 18, 23, 22, 20, right? Like, I've proved that I can do it and not just think it up. I don't know. That's just me. Fine. But hopefully I'm not the only one. I think progression is actually more than just half the game. It's a lot of satisfaction to kind of like take your ideas to the realm, test their metal, and you know, see if it holds up, right? I think that's badass, right? So I've learned more from making inferior builds than the try hard best stuff, right? The best hard stuff is like, I know how to make the best Eldritch Blaster as far as I know. I know how to make the best monk who punches stuff, and I'm not dissing that. Obviously I gush about it, but I also have way more fun trying to see if a concept will work even if it failed, because it usually gives me the knowledge to know how to fix it or try better next time, and so on and so forth. So failure is fun too. Failure's fun. Alright, so a little more freestyle about the build, but what I'm really going to talk about is some real crazy concepts here. It may kind of make your eyes roll over. I'm sorry. There's a lot I could spin off. If you have a comment or a question or want me to elaborate or go over it in a main video, some of these I will, like the concept of like Statman, wherever it is on this list. But let's just kind of get into it, and I'll use this build and go in a little more detail with this guy to explain what I mean, right? So in this build, I built the main guy role like I was talking about, coming from the fact that this guy can, even in the early game, uses deception and his persuasion to kind of talk his way out of situations, because you still get XP, which I love. You're rewarded to solve things not just through combat. I could play one role, I can play a whole combat playthrough, or I could try and beat the game by not killing anybody or just talking my way out of everything I can. I don't even know if it's possible to do that. I'm sure some guy figured it out, but I'd like to figure it out on my own too. And so in a regular playthrough, having a main guy helps out a lot. Let's just put it that way, right? And usually in that main guy, like I said earlier, you need a role of like a pack mule. It's not the most glamorous role, but a main guy who's strength oriented too, probably a beautiful combo is strength and charisma, because I can hold all this stuff and not have to micromanage it, but I could also use my charisma and talk my way out of things. And if I can spin things out of that, all the more sweeter, right? The concept here was mix of wisdom and charisma, and the idea was, can I like have like a monk that shoots lasers, you know, like, funny enough, I wasn't even thinking Goku. But it was also because I was playing with a buddy, so my original core like my only big concern was, can I get this to work? And I can, because I understood the fundamentals, and this is why I like making videos, is because I can go over, maybe not like copy my build, bro, but rather like, hey, if you wanted to build a monk, this is how I would recommend starting it, right? Do 4 levels of monk. It's good from like the moment you walk into the grove. It's good the moment you have it, right? But in the beginning of the game, 2 levels of monk can punch, right? At the 3rd level, you can now punch 3 times in 1 turn, right? With a short-term, short rest resource and all that stuff. I mean, these are the things I'm considering, okay? So I know I can put these things together, and by the time I'm level 4, I've been, even in a co-op run, I'm kind of like, if not carrying us, I'm like complementing the team pretty well, all because I can punch stuff, and I'm not even at the Eldritch Blast stuff. That's going to come later as a progression, seeing if I can get my ideas working, and it works through the whole game, not just the end game, right? The Statman value, okay. Since you saw a lot of numbers here, I'm going to load it up even more. Where is it? There's a concept I like to call the Statman. 27 strength, 18 dex, constitution, I look like a demigod here, right? I don't even know what to call this build, the Mystic or whatever, unlike that weird class mod, I don't know, whatever, but Gil's looking pretty fresh too. But the Statman thing, this is not the only way to do this, and what I would describe is, it's a concept I kind of stumbled on playing a lot of times, and it really fits a main character, but it doesn't always have to be that way. Statman is basically like a catch-all character, right? You can do a lot more, and you would have never known that with Gloves of Dexterity, which you can get pretty early, right? Having the Strength Elixir, which you can get really early, you can make characters that you were like, I don't know if these 2 stats really work together, or you may not even need to focus on any stats. You can dump them all, because apparently you can just pick up the right gear and just throw it on your character. But knowing how to do this can really open up ideas for characters. On the practical sense, like I said, a main character can have a lot of that role compression where he's the pack mule because he's got the 27 strength, but he can also have a lot of utility because he can pick up shovel here and throw him across the room. Bye, shovel. Whoa! Okay. You know, I can throw people off a cliff, so on and so forth. And then I have the dexterity, which gives me tons of like all this stuff, and I didn't have to build for it. Armor class, initiative, just from 1 glove slot, that's insane, okay? Then I can focus more on that idea. There's a few examples, and I don't want to get too much into it right now, but Statman is a concept I guess I'm going to coin here, and I'll go over it later. It's just an interesting thing in the build that I was able to fit in there, even though it wasn't the original point. It helps because it's got that main character energy, right? But I have to make sure, with all that said, you do at least 1 roll well, right? So even with all that roll compression stuff, look at the flurry of blows damage for just a moment, right? If I could do nothing good on this character but 1 thing, that's great, right? If I have 4 of those, I have a winning team. Why? Because flurry of blows here does 44 to 54 damage, right? In 1 bonus action, and I got 2 of them. And when I'm done with these, I'm going to have Eldritch Blast, moving on to the other good thing I'm good at, right? So to combine these 2 good things that I'm doing together, they make 1 good thing. I'm good at dealing damage, okay? This doesn't even show the full volume. You got 3 blasts and 4 extra damage and so on and so forth. We're using the wrong hat, dummy. Whoopsie. Alright, so, I mean, this is like reaching up to like 25 damage per shot and so on and so forth. And I always hit because I have like Rhapsody adding more damage, and it's just geared out well. Do 1 thing really well. This guy does a lot of things really well, and that's a testament to how well it turned out. But trust me, I was only hoping to just get 1 thing working really well, because it's all that really matters, right? Be the best you is just a corny way of saying, like, try to like maximize it. Well, remember when I said I don't mind making inferior builds? It's cool. I actually sometimes like making a character rather than like a sweaty try-hard clown suit of a character, right? I want some style or fresh or RP merits. I'm not big on that stuff, but I kind of want my character to fit in the world and have some adversity and challenges in both like what his role is and like what the gameplay is going to be, okay? But that doesn't mean I don't try to maximize the hell out of what I'm trying to do here, right? This guy's loaded, right? He's getting extra damage to his Eldritch Blast. I somehow fit in the extra shovel. Like, this guy's able to give my sneak attacks viability. I didn't plan on that. That's insane. So I've maximized, like, dude, can we just go over it? I could do darkness. I could see in the darkness. I could give the team darkness. I can set up hold person, you know, trap somebody. Then I can, once I hit hold person, it's an action. I can go punch them 2 times, 4 times, right? I can hit a speed potion, right? And now I have, where's the speed potion, right? Oh my gosh. There it is. I can hit a speed potion. Now I can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? And then I still have 1, 2, 3, 4 punches. Okay. So just kind of like running through all that. I can't believe what this guy can do. So action and resource economy that was a really good example of that. Maximizing what I'm usually looking for in that so-called be the best you can be is, or even the concept itself was, remember I said bonus actions, right? I'm using my punches. And that fuses it blends really well with the idea of using Eldritch Blast, because I don't have to share the resource. You can have the green actions, boom, 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 and you can have the orange actions. There we go, right? And then there's a load of other stuff I could do, like Vicious Mockery and whatnot. But like I said, if I could do one thing really well, that's what really matters. Trying to utilize this in a practical sense, right? You have all this stuff. Use it. It's going to make you more powerful. And that cool character you had in your head is going to be the best they can be. And you're going to have tons of fun throughout the game, maximizing your resources, right? Actually, on this, one other note, look at the synergy. This is a short rest cooldown. It gives me 4 punches, the capability to massively hit people with punches up close, right? But I also have, on short rest, 2 warlock spell slots. So I can drop down this. In one fight, I can drop down a darkness, and then I can go for a bunch of punches, blow all my resources, and then I just short rest them back, right? If I have a bard, cool. That makes it even better to run with a short rest strategies. And on that note, what I said earlier, I don't force a composition, but I am looking if this guy is running with all these short rest abilities and resources, then it makes sense that I'm also going to run with another character that also uses short rest resources and abilities, right? So that's what I'm talking about, like action economy, blending those two together, making sure I'm always having a move to do, because it's not always about having the bonus extra attack and the bloodlust and all that, but it's also knowing what your basics are and you can get out in a short rest and so on and so forth, right? And then a vague roadmap. Okay. Let's look at what I'm doing right now, right here, right? I'm in Act 3. I've beaten the game. I may have played on baby mode. Nothing wrong with that. It's okay. Play the way you want, right? But I'm going to go into a harder challenge. I should probably think out what my guy's going to kind of be. I have all the gear I could find in the game. I know that I can use this and this and this. But if I didn't plan it out a little bit, then, you know, Jasa over here, then she can't use a certain piece like these gloves or whatnot. She's a monk too, you know. A monk uses their wisdom, gets these cool boots in Act 3, and then they can empower their fists. So I'm using 2 monks. Do I really want to have them in contention for one piece of gear? So these are the things I'm thinking about, and by making a roadmap like, oh, in Act 2 I'm going to need this. Oh, in Act 3 I'm going to need this. Oh, they both would like that. Maybe I don't want to play that way, you know? So you want to kind of vaguely get a roadmap, but don't focus all day on it, because when you're playing through the game is where the magic happens and things start falling into place. And it's online early. What that's talking about is a build early. Man, this is probably the biggest thing. Okay, I don't want to go into like a whole strategy guide of playing Act 1. I try to make all these cool like demos and whatnot because I'm trying to give building blocks or like ideas or like show you mechanically what's possible, because in my opinion, I don't want to wait till Act 2 to get my character online. If I played this backwards like Rogue into Warlock and Monk, I could probably make it happen. But Monk is such a powerhouse early on, and I don't always want to play it, but it's a great to know if I need a character to start somewhere, and I'm not trying to like respec at Act 2 or something. I want to play the character. I want it to be the same guy I started with, and he's only grown more powerful or grown. What's like a class system in any other kind of game. There's class systems like Fire Emblem and whatnot, and you kind of like upgrade the character. You don't have as much freedom, so like they wouldn't do a split like this. this game gives you so much freedom that it can sometimes be overwhelming. So it's like, I find it more fun that you kind of build the character early online, it's accessible, it's good, and that comes with those building blocks. Like, I can make a character start with Warlock 2 and get Eldritch Blast and play it through the rest of the game, it's good. I can start the character off with Monk, level 1, it's already good, I can punch twice, right? It's all about knowing how early you can get it online, because maybe you don't agree, but I've literally ruined playthroughs and my enjoyment of this game trying to force things, and then I get to Act 2 and I'm like, great, I just played Act 1 the same way I played it every time. When I started playing Act 1 or any part of the game differently, right, and then I gave myself the challenge, like, well, this game's full of like options and freedom, you know, there's got to be a way to make the character work from day one, and there is, right? You got to figure it out, and that's why I try to like kind of highlight that, make it a big deal. I don't know, I don't want to harp on the point too much, but it's way more fun to me. Knowing gear, so that whole roadmap thing I was talking about, if you know there's these awesome dexterity gloves out there, you start getting wacky ideas like, oh, I could dump dex and just go for wisdom charisma, right? So when you know what's out there, you start getting new possibility of what you're capable of making, and you get that cool idea of like a ninja character. You're like, before a mod came out, I was looking at a dancer character and I was like, how would I build a dancer? And I looked at maybe Bard and Monk, right? Or anything like that, and it didn't work, okay? But then, like I said, I tried to think of how would I make like a character that uses intelligent and wisdom, and what would that look like wisdom, like a witch, right? So I try that with like Warlock and Wizard, but before you know it, like there wasn't enough gear and ideas to really like make it the way I want. That's okay, I tried it, didn't work out, no problem. But just know your gear, because it can really open options. Then you get a little masterpiece like this that it just keeps rolling in. You're like, whoa, did you know Rhapsody adds to this build? Whoa, did you know there's a dagger that adds a little extra armor class because I wasn't using that slot? You know, it's just crazy what gear can enable in this game. I don't know. Again, I'm not going to harp on it too much. But dominoes kind of just fall in place is what I'm saying. Once it's kicking and you got one thing working, you can start finding out where other things can work. And the more you know about gear and the more you route out, like, I could tell you 5 different ways to start Act 1. You can go ahead and try and get the thief gear early. You can go ahead and get the grove done early, all that stuff, right? But those routes are going to help you get your stuff online early. You got to know where to find that gear, and then things just start falling into place and you're having a really good time. And then before you know it, look how much stuff I stuffed into this character, and I use all of it, all because I was just trying to make a guy who punches and shoots lasers. Now he can sneak attack, summon little demon guys over here who can go invisible and enable that. He can hold person, he can abuse darkness mechanics. Like, that's crazy, and I was not at all really trying to stuff any of that in until I got the basics done. You'd be surprised how much you end up getting into a build, and all of a sudden you're like, this is getting better and better, holy crap. And then what can I cram into it? So same thing I'm saying here, but what can I cram into it? Before you know it, just try your best to like maximize it the best you can, because you know, before you know it, it gives you that little extra time on a playthrough to figure out, like, I can't tell you how many times they're like, well, next playthrough I'll use reverb, and I'm sitting there with like an extra boot slot and an extra amulet slot, and I'm like, why don't I try amulet? Like, I already built the character, why don't I try adding reverb to this guy? And I'm like, holy crap, this is amazing. So then I want to build it next time, and then the vicious cycle starts all over again. So that's going to do it for like just a freestyle stream of conscious kind of thing. But what can this guy do? He can Eldritch Blast, right? Just to show you how ridiculous you could make a character in this game and what the customization is. And it is all pretty practical, like I said, between using the bonus actions and whatnot, the reactions. Okay, Eldritch Blast, right? Massive damage on Eldritch Blast, range damage, force damage, so I can overcome if any target that gets my flurry of blows bludgeoning, right? He can punch 4 times right after that. Holy freaking crap, that's insane. He can do sneak attacks. So shovel here, this is so cool. Shovel can go invisible? What the hell? He can go invisible? And he can like run up to a target, and you need to have advantage or an ally next to an enemy, and he can enable a sneak attack, right? Let's show him the ropes. And the best thing is he's invisible, so he doesn't even go into combat, right? So sneak attack is now allowed, right? Right, please. Oh, Shovel, stop following me around. Hold on. That's why, buddy. I'm delirious right now. Alright, there, come on, little guy. Come on. Alright. There we go. Sneak attack. Whoa, bam. Haha. Alright. Cool. Alright. But yeah, we have an imaginary friend in the form of Shovel. I can literally talk to people to death. There's actually, I mean, not only can you do the events where you can talk people to death, but we have the little vicious mockery here too. I wonder if I can get this. Yeah, hit him there. And now, Mystic Scoundrel, I can now literally talk to people to death. Oh, check that out. I've stuffed so many cool little things throughout the game. Like, oh my gosh, that was wild. I don't even have the steeped in bliss condition. Oh, dude, I forgot about that. Okay, okay. I can hold on to useless crap. Yeah, like I said, I can hold everything and just focus on having fun with the game instead. I can throw everything too. All right, end your turn, buddy. You know what's actually funny about throwing everything? I can probably pick this guy up, can't I? Oh man, please. Oh, he can't do it. I was hoping I could. Well, whatever. He's got 21 strength. He can bop him. Damn. Nice. Alright, so I can pick people up and throw them. Woohoo! And get a sneak attack. All in the same turn. What? I can darkness cheese. We already saw that. I'm hard to hit. That's why I'm, you know, kind of blurry right now. I can steal anything. Well, actually, if I wanted to go more towards that route, I could re-gear it. But yeah, let's just pretend. I have high initiative. Actually, kind of cool. Thanks to this bow, I used every slot I could to get every benefit I can, and I have 7 initiative. That's actually really important. I can quadruple my run speed. Okay, I have Cunning Action Run, but I also have the regular run, and I have 3. I could do it 3 times. I could run, oh man, what does he say? I have like 50 movement speed right now. Okay. And can I get another one that's 100 movement speed? Can I do it again? 150. Yeah, even that stacks with that one. So I would get up to 200 movement speed, which is a long distance. Okay. I can do control spells. Like I said, I can hold person. You can sub to the channel, and I've lost count of all the things this guy can do, and we've gone way overboard. So with that, I appreciate you guys. Like I said, a little more freestyle rambling, but some of you have been asking me, so I just try to deliver the good stuff. We'll see you in the next one, but until then, thanks for watching, guys.